All right. Hello everyone, and welcome to another matchup in the Roulette Rivals World Championships 2022. Tonight we have a winner's bracket round 3 matchup between GK Punk and the Buff Guy. And I'm very excited to be joined for this shoutcast. First time inaugural cast between Barb and ChrisX3 joining me. What's up, Chris?
Hello everyone. I'm glad to be joined in today's cast by Barbecue. I invited him myself, and I hope you all are okay with that.
Yeah. It's I think the people are in for a treat. I'm looking forward to this. We've not gotten to share the microphone before until now, and it's great to see you back in. And I watched your cast the other night with who was it?
Yeah,
My memories. Was it in for fun?
I would put cast in quotation marks on that one, but
No, it was. It counts. It sure.
I was there for like 5 minutes.
Well, tonight we've got an exciting match between GK Punk and Buff Guy. Wait a second. Did I put ChrisX3? I totally put your stream in Buff's spot.
I hope Buff is live then.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Otherwise, I'll have to postpone that real quick.
We got an ad, so I think he is live. So GK Punk says Roulette Rookie under his name there, but he's been in. He knows roulette. He's been like playing roulette mode for a while, so it's his first tournament outing, but he's doing really well. Buff has made it to the finals before, but wasn't quite able to make it beyond that. So we're starting on Marrakesh, traveling to Chungking. Our Marrakesh spin is here. Why don't you tell us what it is, Chris? Would you break it down?
All right, we've got Razor Zayden with any shotgun that disguises the Masseur, and then Klaus Hugo Strandberg with an electrocution as the fortune teller. This
Okay.
is going to be a slightly spicy one as soon as it came up, but
Yeah, I
I
can
mean, it
see
is.
that. The fortune teller always kind of adds a bit of a bit of spice right at the start. Like you could make it easy by like briefcase bombing him and sending him to the bathroom, but that does make it a bit harder, I think, to get to Klaus with enough time to catch him first cycle. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think that electrocution, like spot on, is going to be your real restriction here. Realistically speaking, obviously, your only Klaus electrocution opportunity is going to be that railing.
Hmm.
And he's going to lean over just over 2 minutes.
Yeah,
So I think it's going to definitely push both players here towards grabbing that immediately. Because, of course, you could start Janitor, set that up, and come over here. But then you're relying on yourself, like being able to get Fortune Teller before he dies. It's like, you don't want to put that risk in like 2 minutes into your run. So
for
Barb's
sure.
going that way.
But Buff, yeah, Buff gets the quick grab
Oh,
there.
yeah, that's his name.
He makes it look really easy. His stream looks like a bit of a slideshow for me, though. Are you seeing
Yeah,
that too?
I am seeing that myself. Yeah.
Okay. Are you watching it on? Are you watching my cast, or are you watching Buff's stream
No, I
directly?
have I have them pulled up in separate tabs.
Okay. All right. Sometimes it evens out, but it's a little bit herky jerky. But that's all right. He does get a quick fortune teller grab, but Punk was still loading. Buff has got like almost a minute lead in game time, and Punk is starting as a consulate janitor.
Yeah, it is kind of a doozy of a spin for sure, but Buff was ready there for the fortune teller start strategy that he wanted here.
Yeah, which is awesome because if you can manage to pull that off, that fast fortune teller grab where you get him within the first, like 15 seconds, so much better than even just getting a seeker dart or briefcase bomb on him because you save like, I feel like almost a minute um, with just not having to wait for him to walk to the bathroom. And it's huge. It really adds up, especially when you got to get Klaus first cycle like here.
Yeah, and then I mean once you get that Klaus kill out of the way, it's kind of just your standard Marrakesh spin for the rest of it. You're just gonna hope you don't run into any issues grabbing the Masseur, and then you're kind
Hmm.
of set to go.
Yeah, and generally the Masseur, I think, doesn't give most people an issue, but it has been known to happen, especially if you just aren't familiar with like the easy strat for for grabbing it. But the same could be said for many disguises. Um,
Yeah.
and if you just gotta work with what you know, then you gotta work with what you know. But here comes so Punk does replan his route around getting the fortune teller first, and Buff does get to the handrail switch in time to toggle the light. I didn't see him shoot the lamp, but I assume he did.
Yes, he did shoot the back of it, yeah.
Okay, so there he goes. He
Luckily,
gets Klaus.
waits it out here.
Yep, the
Nice little
prompt.
ragdoll for him there.
And Punk is approaching, entering through the parking garage below the consulate, and is looking good for getting there in time. I think he's got a bit less time because he used a slightly different strat than what Buff did. He like used a snail and a calmer, whereas Buff I think just used a distraction and a calmer. But here he
Yeah, I mean
goes
Buff's
grabbing.
got a good minute and a half lead here, so
Yeah.
he's really got to not rip the rest of this run, and then he'll be quite far out ahead a little bit.
So now he's heading off to the school. He's gonna try and dodge that camera there. No camera troubles. Um, and obviously the players are going to opt to do this with a silenced shotgun. When it just says shotgun as the kill method, you can
Yeah,
do silenced or loud if you should want to, if you want like the loadout flexibility of using something that's on the map or that is carried by an NPC, but loud firearms for Reza can be a
yeah.
real pain. The community's come up with some solutions here recently, I think, which is makes it a bit easier, but still spicy conditions. So they're going to be using silent shotguns.
And so Punk here's ready. He's gonna activate this switch, and he really needs to get back
Oh
before
no!
Klaus stops leaning. And there he goes.
Yeah, he's already taken his hands off. So after
And
that,
I I
Yeah,
don't know if there's any way for that electrocution opportunity to hit him unless he like kind of chooses to do it himself. Like I
yeah,
don't think you can just distract him onto the railing and have it kill him.
no,
So
no, definitely can't.
is he gonna restart? Because otherwise he's kind of stuck on second cycle there.
I
Uh,
would restart because that just waiting for that second cycle is 5
yeah.
minutes. 5 minutes
I
of
mean, like
time.
at best, like you're looking at having to run all the way back over here after the raise a kill to get that
Yeah,
disguise back
yeah,
at like
and
7:30 or whatever. And
I think he realizes that his best option here is to just try it again and set up the kill. But he actually goes back to his original strat instead of doing the default start and grabbing that fast fortune teller. He's back starting as consulate janitor and
I think
setting up the kill.
he's looking to grab this guy's loud pistol to set it up, maybe.
Mm.
The closest screwdriver is going to be in the security room downstairs.
Okay,
I
well
don't I don't think he has a pistol.
Buff gets Reza into the bathroom there using the intercom lure. And oh my god, is he going for the keys? I hope he's not going for the keys.
I think he is going for the keys this time.
Yeah, I just heard him say keys, so that's totally what he's thinking of doing here. But it
I mean,
should be all right. If
he's
it's
done with this spin. I mean,
Yeah, and if the cycle's good with the guards' positions, then well, that's very encouraging. So nicely done there by Buff. GG's.
yeah.
Unfortunately, Punk really couldn't even find his footing in the time that Buff, started. That was all one attempt too from Buff. Really solid.
They're kind of just a janky spin, I would imagine, in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
Really throws you out of your comfort zone for planning.
for sure. I was watching a match the other day, I think, and it was just a combination of disguises and kill conditions. I think it was maybe on like Sapienza, and it just kind of like I was like, "Oh my god, I don't think I've ever seen this spin before." Like I've been playing it for, such a long time. I mean, at least it feels like a long time. There's people who've been playing roulette much longer than I have, but it was just kind of amazing to me that it was like a spin that I've not yet seen before.
Mike saved it just for you.
Buff is like beast mode there
He knew you
on
were looking
Marrakesh.
for it.
Nicely done. So that's gotta give him some confidence here heading into second map. Heading into his map pick now of Chungking. We should also mention the map bans by our players. GK Punk chose to ban Santa Fortuna, and Buff has banned New York, which I think is a tactical ban against Punk because he knows Punk can do that pretty quickly. So,
Yeah, I think it's pretty much perfectly banning the opponent's strengths because
mm-hmm.
I mean Punk is just as much of a fan of the long maps as he is the short maps. Buff obviously is the big guy for the big five maps. So
Mm-hmm.
bans that New York because it can kind of be a coin flip for him, and
Mm-hmm.
then Punk with Santa Fortuna. He's not a
Yeah,
big fan of the map from my discussions with him, so it makes sense to get that bigger map out of there.
sure. Yeah, this is where like picks and bans are really kind of important. The competition at this stage in the game is very stiff, and players will often try to kind of take away a strength from their opponent if they can help it because they know that their opponent will probably do the same to them. Um, it's just the name of the game at this stage. You want to try and level the playing field as best as you can, and that's what these picks and bans afford players the opportunity to do. Kind of strategize a little bit. Um, Instead, it's a sort of game surrounding the game of Hitman. You know what I mean? Like where we have these
Yeah, like
stats where we
the roulette
track.
meta.
Yeah, we track players' performances and their wins and losses on different maps, and this kind of informs our competitors how they might want to do battle with us on what maps they're gonna pick. And this in turn, drives us to practice and get better on our weak maps and or better at the fast maps or the big maps or whatever it is. We've all got our areas to improve.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, like, obviously at this stage of the tournament, we've just got all the best players in here, and Buff and Punk. I know personally, having talked with both of them before, I mean, they've got insane map knowledge on all, well, 18 plus Ambrose maps because that one's quite a new one for everyone. But
Definitely.
um, Punk as hasn't been in these tournaments as long as Buff has, but he's definitely been playing the game for at least the same amount of time. So
Yeah, yeah.
really, it's more of a question of who's going to do these faster, not who's going to actually know how to do the spin the best way.
Absolutely. So looking at Punk already in this tournament, since this is his maiden voyage here in a roulette event, he's been to China twice so far this event, with 1 win and 1 loss. And Buff Guy has been here a total of 6 times throughout his career, 5 wins and 1 loss. Our spin is here in just a few seconds, and then our players are going to be trying to get it done first. So here it is. We've got Hush, Shotgun, Facility Guard, and Imogen Royce, Electrocution in the suit.
Yeah, another kind of a weird electrocution kill in the trilogy that I'm sure we're not too thrilled to see, but immediately going in, switching up the planning so they know exactly what they need to do for this one.
Yeah,
Um,
Imogen, this is the reason this one is tricky for her. Like Shotgun is Facility Guard for Hush is relatively straightforward. We'll see him isolated up there in the block somewhere in his office probably or the sensory room. And the electrocution for Imogen, it's because not all of the puddles out there are like true puddles. I can actually like
yes.
hold a charge, right?
Yeah, that and obviously there's the fact that to my knowledge at least every single puddle on this map that is real is live only. So
Right.
you've got so many different spots you can do the kill in, but how many of them are feasible? Not a ton.
Right. Because you need to be able to get
Um,
her to walk through the puddle and no one else, hopefully, here. If you like have to rely on a distraction or something to get her to walk into a puddle or something like a coin or an EMP charge, something like that. Um, so yeah, we'll see what our players elect to do. Both of them actually going for the default start, the umbrella start there. And Punk climbing up onto the block, and is shooting all of the drones, it appears, to be getting both targets to meet.
Yeah, so what that'll do is with the fifth drone, it'll not only bring Imogen up faster, but it'll also bring her all the way up to the top here,
Mm-hmm.
where I imagine Punk is planning to leave an EMP in this puddle right in front of the stairs, which will only ever get Imogen, at least, in all of the times that I've done it. So, it'll move Imogen and until you actually shoot, I think you have to shoot the sixth and seventh drones to actually get
Mm.
Hush involved with this. So he's kind of free to just isolate Hush now. And of course, he's going to want to come back with that guard that he's going to pick up off of Imogen's friend Vincent.
Oh, he's just absolutely blazing through here. Buff's kind of uh not gotten a whole lot done here in the same amount of time. He's struggling to he's trying to triple shot panic these guards here so he can run through into this trespassing area in his suit.
Yeah, and it's funny, you can kind of see him since he has his webcam on, like talking to himself, trying to get his head back into it here. It's kind of like the exact opposite of what we saw in Marrakesh, which is funny considering they're on opposite map picks in
Yeah.
those situations. But Buff's kind of struggling to get his footing early on here, and Punk's been really collected. He's gotten some big whooshes so far in the block, but really hasn't run into that many problems. And he's
Yeah,
approaching this Imogen kill now, and then after that, he's pretty much home free on the Hush kill now that he's got him isolated.
I find that I feel electrocution suit strats tend to be different from a lot of the other electrocution strats that players seem like prepared for. You know what I mean? Like I feel like electrocution suit is a combination that really exists only in its as a unique thing that isn't applicable to many other electrocution kills. There's
Yeah, and
ways to get
there's
ones like fast, like right off, like from a certain start, for instance.
Yeah, exactly. For both Hush and Imogen, they have very easy remote electrocution setups that are possible um, from disguised starts. So obviously, suit. I mean,
Hmm.
it depends on what the players are comfortable doing, but that might limit some of their options here. Like for Imogen, you can set her up remote.
What's going on
down
with
in the
Punk here?
facility, but you're not
He
quite gonna get there.
Oh, he's got Imogen and her guard above, overhead here.
Yeah, and he's wanting not to get spotted by this guard, but he also needs to have this disguise sitting here ready for right as Imogen dies.
Mm-hmm.
And thankfully, body not found here, and he's able to get that electrocution kill. Just don't change too quickly. And I mean, he's good. He's
Nice.
literally just gonna walk past Imogen's corpse, and
Go get this shotgun kill.
yeah, I mean, he's got Vincent there on the ground tranked, so he's really got no bodies around that could possibly get found here, and
Just needs to
he's even
watch
got
for who's this? Jun Lee?
Junli.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's playing it patiently here,
Gonna go
and
around. Hopefully this researcher doesn't troll him and do a stupid head turn, because he can do that sometimes.
yeah, he's able to sneak through there. I was saying I don't know if I would want to mess with that myself, but he's able to grab that. And if
Gets
he
the kill.
wants, this disguise is legal on the balcony exit there, by the suit start. Um, but might end up going for the scooter exit, which is kind of always the safe one on this map. So it makes sense to kind of just fall back on that one there, especially when you know that you've had a really clean run so far.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't rip here on the end.
Yep. So he's actually heading down. He's running the whole way down out the block, looks like.
Yeah, and I really don't think there's anyone to spot him at all for the rest of this route. And
Oh, there
couple
he
bodies
goes.
lying out, but it takes some real shenanigans for any of them to get found here at the end.
And unfortunately, he's not going to give Buff any chance at all, really, here. He had a much better approach, I think, for the electrocution kill. As a standalone, like he had it. Buff is 3 minutes in here, and he's only just now making Imogen sick, which is going to make her walk through a puddle here, which will probably work for the kill because she's still alive, but just not nearly as fast as what Buff or as Punk had prepared to do.
Yeah, and I mean, this is an extremely viable kill for Imogen Electrocution, especially because you can set up like an emetic mine and the taser such that no one else can get hit by them.
Mm-hmm.
So you can kind of just like walk off while Imogen, kind of just walks into the puddle and dies. But
Right.
for this one, seems like Punk a little bit more aware of what he needed to do there, and yeah, also just able to kind of to get started there a bit better than Buff was. Obviously, I already mentioned kind of
Yeah.
a reverse of Marrakesh, and we're back here even on Whittleton Creek, first RNG map.
Yeah, so Buff started off real strong and taking his opponent's map pick and heading confidently into his own map pick, but then Punk kind of, while he was on the back foot going into map 2, definitely regained some momentum, and both players are still looking really strong and really evenly matched here heading into the third map to decide who's going to be the next player up. Someone's going to have 4 points here after this, and it's either going to be Punk or Buff. And we are now in the maps that are chosen by hit maps. So any of the maps in the whole, map pool for roulette, minus the maps that players have banned, and minus the maps that they have picked. So any of the other maps can be randomly selected by hit maps, and Whittleton Creek is the first of several. What are the other ones that are on the docket here? Let me see if I can.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
But yeah, I think Punk is gonna be doing better in terms of the mental side of things after that win on Chongqing pretty decisively, and Whittleton, as I know, a map that he really likes. So even
Yeah.
though Buff obviously is going to know what he's doing, that's kind of sort of like a, I don't know, it's just a good headspace to be in coming into map number 3 now that you're evened up.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Definitely uh could go either way here, for sure. Just part of the meta game of roulette is just keeping your own sort of expectations in check, uh, keeping your mind open to whatever kind of spin is delivered. Like, you don't want to start like preparing for certain I mean, I don't know. I guess every player is different, but I tend to just kind of wait on the loadout screen, much like Punk is doing, and Buff actually is doing that. He's Buff's just chatting. He's chatty.
Yeah, just
um,
hanging out.
yeah, just hanging out. He's very casual about it. Um, I tend to kind of just clam up and try to like focus on my breathing because that's the hardest thing for me to manage
Yeah, it is.
during
It
a
is very
match.
nerve-wracking.
Yeah,
It's
roulette
always
brain is
crazy
a
to me
thing.
that I've seen matches that Buff's played, and he kind of just like sits there, like talking with his chat about how the maps went and everything, and I was like, I can barely even like stay in it for more than 5 minutes in the middle of these matches.
Yeah. Yeah, he's chatty during the in between, but whenever the spin arrives, I feel like everything else is just tuned out. Then at that point, and then
For
he's all
sure.
dialed in. Oh, did we not make a prediction yet? Let's start a prediction. Chat needs their they need their sweet gambling
Come on, this
satisfaction.
is. Let me just get in on some insider trading here. Who do I think, based on the spin that I already know, is gonna win it?
Insider trading. We gotta get some regulations going. Okay, so Punk for the first pick, Buff. We'll give a minute to allow
You
predictions.
got 30 seconds.
You get an extra 30 seconds to make your prediction based on how the first 30 seconds of their gameplay sways you.
Yeah, and I agree that in roulette, typically you want to kind of just be sitting here ready for whatever is going to come through because we all know that when we're playing in matches, the spins are a lot more ridiculous than they are in practice. But
Oh yeah,
um,
based on
I
my
think
experience, yeah.
for the most part, like I think this far into roulette, everyone kind of has like the default loadout for different maps, and it's like this is probably going to encompass the highest number of spins to kind of like cut down on like 5 seconds of planning or whatever. But
Yeah, which
we'll see.
matters on the smaller maps more than the big ones, but on Whittleton Creek, anyways. Chris, our spins here. Why don't you tell us what it is?
Whittleton Creek, we've got Janus Electrocution as Spencer the Hammer Green, Nolan Cassidy with a kitchen knife as the barbecue owner. So two unique disguises here that can be, I guess, sort of difficult relative to the rest of the disguises on the map to get, but
I would do barbecue owner at the start first, and then run straight
barbecue
over
owner.
yeah, the barbecue owner. That's awesome that he appears in the spin that I get to cast. Um, but I would totally try to start at the party, get the barbecue owner first, and then run over and grab the hammer as well. But interesting, this is the third electrocution kill we've seen. There's been one in every spin so far.
Yeah, I've noticed that with a lot of
So
different maps in this tournament.
yeah,
It
there's a trend that's continuing.
yeah, it does also help, I guess.
They're both
Can
going suit
mention
start, default start though. Interesting.
um with Janus being a remote kill, like you could kind of completely ignore Spencer until you go for the Nolan kill because you can have that set up remote. But I
Hmm.
mean, obviously, it is kind of always nice if the routing calls for it to just be able to get that kill immediately. And especially both players showing here, they're aware that the quote unquote easiest way to get Spencer is right at the start of the map. He'll always be standing here and he'll always be the one that reacts to this
Right.
generator. So kind of a free grab also gets you that letter clue,
Hmm.
which replaces the picture frame in Janice's basement. So saves you time on that as well.
See, I probably would have tried to load in at the server, get the barbecue owner, and then get over here, only to discover that the hammer has moved on, and the other Cassidy bodyguard would respond to the generator. But yeah, getting I think him first is probably easier than getting the barbecue owner first, at least in this case. Uh, just so that way you don't have to try to intercept him at another point in this cycle. So Punk gets the hammer and is in the disguise, as does Buff Guy. Both players heading towards the Janus property. Buff's already there, uh, pointing a weapon out of some bushes, and Punk will be hopping the fence here over into the Lewinsky property to get a seeker going onto the barbecue owner a while. That's
Oh,
pretty smart, actually.
oh,
Oh, he's
he's
going to
got a
put a
nana
banana.
ready.
Nice. This
So
is actually really smart.
it is possible for this body to get found immediately when he
Uh,
slips, which obviously would not rib him,
he's
but
also going to miss Janus being able to get Janus downstairs, too.
depends on because oh, buff's opting to restart here. I was gonna say, especially with how the proxy timings work for Janus, not getting over here quickly could cause him an issue. But obviously now he's got a bit more time that he isn't aware of to work this out.
Interesting. So Janus is still sitting on the couch down here, but I don't know for how much longer. And I feel like the easier electrocution opportunity down here, at least based on what I just learned as of tonight while I was
I did see
practicing,
that, yeah.
that he
Ooh,
this is
did
the
he peekaboo that guy?
oh
He
he did
did.
he did yeah
He needs
someone
to try to knock out Janus here and then drop something for this guy because he's also got to worry about the dude at the top of the stairs that might
yeah
be able to see Janus's body, and he needs to get this kind of dealt with quickly.
yep okay he's gonna
Uh,
grab him. He should be all right now.
he looks good, and obviously this sink isn't gonna bring anybody in here. He's got the kitchen knife.
What?
Uh,
What?
where's this guy going?
Was he not satisfied by seeing the shotgun drop?
No,
And
I looked at his mini map. He did lose the investigating. He went
what
back to
on
a black dot
earth?
and then just continued in here. I didn't. He didn't throw the briefcase at anyone, I don't think. So the guard wasn't coming to find a briefcase.
Hmm. Chat's
I have
saying
no
that
idea what
dropping an
that.
item won't stop a peekaboo. Maybe throwing an item would. I know I saw throwing an item work one time on an Isle of Scale spin when I don't know who it was, but someone peekabooed someone into a bathroom that they ran into with a sniper on their back, and then they threw a bust out, and that stopped them from coming to investigate a whoosh. But maybe just dropping an item isn't sufficient.
He needs to use the bathroom.
Yes, he will. For that electrocution kill at least. Sink specifically. Buff's
Yeah, I think.
jumping into the bathroom
Yeah, and
here.
I think he just peekabooed that guy
Yeah,
too.
he definitely got a lot of whoosh on the way in
I can
there.
see that in the mini map. I think I was kind of watching Punk with that rip there. I didn't see Buff do anything for the barbecue owner yet. We obviously see the gum in his inventory. I do kind of like Punk's setup here for the
Yeah,
rest of the spin, but we'll have to see if that actually affords him enough time here. Assuming no rips from Buff anytime soon.
he actually seekered Janus and has Janus running into the bathroom here.
Yeah, and he's still got Gunther to deal with here, who's gonna. Oh, okay, he'll just kill himself then. I don't think he meant to
Whoa.
activate that as well because he was in the wrong disguise, but maybe he did. I'm not sure.
No, he's in the he was in the hammer disguise, I think. I think Buff was
Oh,
in
I
the
thought he. I don't know. I guess I'm just blind. I thought he was in a Janus bodyguard disguise.
No, he was in the same trench coat as Punk is. So he was just trying to. What he did was he tried to
Yeah,
bump
he
into
was.
Janus to slow him down, so that way he would be in the puddle still. By
Yeah,
the time it was
obviously
like set.
he wanted to get Janus dead there immediately, and then Gunther would react to that and
Right.
lose his enforcement.
But I guess like
Which
he
it
did
could
look
still
like
be a problem
he looked
because
like
it's a
he was
hostile area,
far enough
but that was
away
kind of the
from the
plan.
puddle too. Like he was very far when he detonated the trigger, so I was surprised to see that he died from that.
Yeah, the puddles are kind of like weird in that they sort of spawn the entire puddle as soon as it overflows, so they can be like kind of huge by the end of it there. Um,
Well, Punk gets the electrocution kill there on Janus.
yeah, and we see that he doesn't actually go for the same thing on the barbecue owner. Still got plenty of time to do that if he's looking for garage isolation, which it did seem like he was on his first run. But obviously, Seeker into the backyard could save him like 30 seconds if he wants to go for that instead.
Hmm.
A bit indecisive here. I didn't see if he took out the evidence, but obviously he doesn't need the clue that's down there.
Right, because he got the letter from Spencer already. So he does still need the other two, which we'll see as the lawsuit documents and the cigar box. But there he goes, taking that seeker shot onto the barbecue owner, which will send him pathing towards the bathroom here.
And yeah, I know everything about every NPC that can sit in this, come into this bathroom after having played Freelancer. When half the targets are just standing in the middle of the garden here at the party.
Yep, and you're like, all right, well, you all have to use the bathroom now.
So really, his concern's going to be the dude that walks right past the window on his phone, and then the two that are kind of further down. It looks like he's got the couple coming by, but he should just be able to grab this disguise and walk out with plenty of time to spare. Doesn't need to hide it or anything, of course. And
There
I
you
mean, he's
go.
good. He's got really good timing here on Nolan. Yeah, and it seems like he wants to just wait for Garage, so he's going to avoid triggering that proxy as much as possible.
Oh my
Buff gets
god.
spotted climbing into Janice's house. It's
Buck,
another restart
he just
there.
jumped out of the window in front of that. Like, that guard was like just looking in his direction as he jumped out of the window and he tried to jump back in. That wasn't gonna work. Couldn't clamber back up that window fast enough. But here goes Punk closing the gap on Nolan and Nolan's bodyguard as they are entering the garage.
And looks like he did hide Spencer this time, just like last time. I'm kind of worried about, yeah,
What's
because his
Nolan
guard's gonna
doing?
call his VIP is gonna call someone in to
Oh
come get
no!
Spencer's shotgun.
But they're all
So
just gonna stand here till that happens, right?
yeah, yeah.
So that's all right. Or no, is it not all right? Because I think once the guard like kneels down to pick up the gun, then they'll start moving, and that's gonna be a problem.
And obviously he's going to be trespassing as soon as he walks into this garage. So
Oh wait, now he's reacting to
Nolan,
the briefcase.
yeah, Nolan only cared about the gun. He's fine picking up the briefcase himself. So as long as Punk isn't getting wrecked by the jogger here, he shouldn't really have any issues now. Guard at the front of the house might have heard that scream. It doesn't look like it on the minimap though.
Yeah, I think he's
Yep, he's
okay.
good. And
He's gonna shut the
closes the garage as
garage.
well. I mean, those bodies should be fine there now.
Yeah.
Uh,
Now he's just got to get
just
this last shovel and dig up the clue, and then he's good.
don't get wrecked by Batty, and I think he's allowed in the frog habitat in this disguise, so that should be completely fine as well.
Yeah, I believe you're right, actually.
So just lawsuit cigar box here, wrapping it up, and
Yeah, there's no way Buff's gonna be able to catch up here. No
yeah,
chance.
I mean he's got Janice on the hook here, but he just kind of got wrecked, sort of in a similar way that Punk did with the guys outside in the backyard of Janice's house, but able to pull through after that first rip.
Yeah.
Buff
Nicely
letting it
done
in the
from
end.
Punk, though. Another really solid performance.
Yeah, I'm not trying to rush anything with that Nolan kill at the end. Just pays off being patient there, and that'll be a 4-2 lead for him.
Nice. So he's one more win, one more map win away from closing this this matchup and taking the win. But if Buff could drag this out a bit longer if he wins the next one, which is Paris. One of the OG 2016 maps that Hitman players have been playing on for the longest amount of time. It's just part of the offering of maps that have been available for players the longest. So, and both of these players have been playing since before the World of Assassination games, and certainly since all of them have come out. So this is like, I feel like this is seeing two of the greats on a map like this is they're both like super powered here. I think they have
Yeah,
a
I mean,
lot of
Paris.
practice and a depth of knowledge of strats and how the different starts, and that matters a lot on Paris, right? Like the difference between like an attic start or an auction start or a tech crew start. These starts I think can kind of get you very similar times with spins, but there are there is the most optimal start for different spins, and these guys I think know how to make that determination.
Yeah, I mean, Paris is obviously a fan favorite. I'd say it was definitely one of the maps that was quote unquote solved the earliest. So, I mean, these guys have had years and years to master these roulette strats. And
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I know Punk is a huge fan of Paris. Buff, I think, is kind of right up there with him on that. So,
Yeah.
from the viewer's point of things, we're obviously going to hope for something very close here, but all depends on the spin coming up.
Well, looking at those player statistics, we can see Punk has been here to Paris 2 times already in this RRWC 2022. Buff has been here for a total of 10 times over his roulette career, 5 wins and 5 losses. So, uh, hard to say. Could go either way. Uh, for either player here. But Buff certainly has a lot of on record experience. Again, though, Punk's been around for quite a long time. And we're now catching some scary horror movie trailers from Buff, or from Punk, I mean. Close
Is
your
it
eyes, kids. No nightmares.
playing ads on your end?
Yeah.
GRB, family friendly cast. This stream brought to you by cold and flu season.
Yeah. Brought to you by the coronavirus. Make sure you don't have smell-o-vision enabled.
It's
Just
okay. I haven't been able to smell anything all day, anyways.
All right, so just over a minute away from our spin. Holy hell, look at that record. 2 minutes and 58 seconds by Fanium, set during RR9.
Yeah, a ton of records have been broken. Obviously, last tournament, but especially this one, because of course you've got just an insane volume of matches to get played.
Yeah, all
All
the
the
group
best players are going to
stages.
be
And
in there. I mean,
yeah.
you're bound to get a record spin at some point on one of those
Or
really,
several.
really fast
Several
players. Yeah,
even, yeah.
yeah.
So we've
I'm
seen we've seen many records, new records set, and many old ones broken, which is cool because we're getting more of those high times down to lower times, and some of them are quite an improvement too, like by an order of minutes. I know Danny Buda set one on Santa Fortuna that's ridiculously fast, like what, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, something
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, and I
Um,
know. I guess Berlin is the one that I've seen that can still get, several minutes faster. So
yeah.
we'll get down there eventually to the point where nobody's gonna be getting any records.
Well, I think, is it your turn or my turn for the spin? I think it's my turn, right?
I think it's your turn. Yeah.
All right, we got Victor Novikov eliminated with a fall as the vampire magician, and Dahlia Margolis with an explosive accident as cicada bodyguard. Well, that's a pretty free kill for Dahlia.
Yeah, and I
Um,
think I think the first thing I thought when I saw this spin was if you're familiar with the ceiling shot for Victor, this kill is like absolutely perfect for that.
oh, the
Um,
ceiling shot for Victor. Well, maybe I'll learn something crazy here on
yeah,
stream.
it's usually I think you would want to start tech crew for that, but basically all you have to do is like, kind of get Victor walking towards you from a bullet distraction um or from a well, pretty much just the fireworks a lot of the time, but as long as he can hear you shoot the ceiling above him, then you're good to go and he'll walk all the way up into the attic by himself.
Really? So you detonate the fireworks first and then just shoot the ceiling while he's walking towards you?
Yeah, and then he'll walk pretty much right around to where Punk is, like right now, and then you can kind of just throw him over under the catwalk. But starting attic here, both players are going to be grabbing that vampire magician immediately, and then we're just going to see a Seeker start. So, I mean, also a super easy way to grab that Victor kill, just kind of dump him off the Sheik's balcony.
I was
And
wondering
then,
about that. That's probably what my mind would have defaulted to for, where to get that opportunity to dump him.
yeah, and then, I mean, obviously, Dahlia explosion accident is the easiest kill you can possibly get for her. Cicada Bodyguard's not going to be that hard to grab, so
Mm. And
I think it'll be
she's right by a gas lamp whenever she's out on the
yeah.
balcony. Whoa, Punk just getting a lot of whoosh there from this oncoming Cicada Bodyguard. I don't know if that was intentional.
It's just kind of him walking past you when you trigger the dialogue that they
Yeah,
have over here.
they eventually
But
move on.
yeah, I think after the Victor kill, it's going to be a really straight shot for both players, and they're both kind of in the same position right now. So
Dahlia does smoke by that gas lamp, but I think if you shoot it near her, she would notice the gas or the bullet impact. So you'd have to either shoot it in advance of her being on the balcony, or just shoot it when she's out there standing next to it.
there's a nice response there from Punk on not getting wrecked by that security guard.
Yeah, I saw that.
Um, so so yeah, Dahlia will go and stand right up next to the gas lamp when you trigger the fireworks. So really, all you have to do is distract the guard that's up there with her, so you don't get a non-target kill, and then you can just kind of 2 bullets into the side of it, and you'll be good to go.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if he was in the path of the explosive radius, but I guess he was. Um, so it looks like our players here, Buff's taking out these cameras.
Both getting wrecked by these stupid roaming security guards that everyone hates. And I think both of them actually secured Victor quickly enough that they're not going to have Kurt in there with him. Oh, it actually looks like Punk
Whoa!
does.
Whoa, Buff! Oh my god, wait.
Oh,
Is he
he's still
not
green.
ripped?
He's still green.
He hasn't ripped yet. Oh my god. Oh my
What?
god. Oh my
How many
god.
times? Oh my. I was gonna say, how many times is this whoosh bar gonna fill before he actually rips? And I think that was like the 3rd time it happened.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I was saying, getting Kurt in here is actually gonna be, I don't know, a slight time save over having to run over to this cicada bodyguard, but rip buff.
Oh man.
Don't
Oh,
want to get JRB'd
let's.
by the Sheik here.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Punk's opting for a bit of discipline there.
And
Uh-oh.
nice throw. Nice
Thankfully,
throw,
thankfully it,
47.
it doesn't override. That won't cause him to
Yeah.
turn around and see the shake on the ground.
And Victor very shortly is going to be taking a nice trip off this balcony, and I've never even had anyone come close to looking up here to see this dump prompt, so I don't really think there should be any issues with that.
Hopefully not. We'll see. This is not a kill I don't think I've actually had to do yet.
Yeah, because the unfortunate thing is the window in the Sheik's bathroom is wide open, but you don't get a prompt on any of them, so you have to drag him all the way over here to get that kill.
Punk does get him dumped out there and gets that kill without any issues and is now switched into that is a cicada bodyguard disguise.
Yeah, just this camera standing in his way here, wanting to grab that fireworks remote, making sure these guards aren't going to spot him all the way over there, shooting this camera out of the way, because the camera grids on Paris lie to you a lot, so just gonna want
Yeah,
to deal with those before doing anything else.
definitely.
So we see detonate the fireworks. He's grabbing this bust, and he is going to use that
Is he
with the
bringing he's just doing that to move the guard away.
yeah. So either just a thrown distraction down on the ground there, or shooting like the bottom of the pillar will cause that guy to kind of start to walk all the way down, and then as soon as he walks inside from the patio, like walks through the door frame, you're good to go for that kill. So he's got plenty of time here. When I get a good angle, obviously nobody's really going to see him
What?
because of
Oh my
guard
god.
accident. So that means that the guard heard the distraction and then just ignored it then.
Whoa. Oh my god,
Because
that's huge.
there's no one else that can die to that explosion.
As long as Buff stays solid here, he now has the
And
chance to take this to a 4-4.
I have had that before several times, like in this latest mini comp, using a bust to like boost off the railing and then at the same time bring the guard down. And I had like a couple times he just completely ignored it, like same spot as always. He just didn't care. But yeah, most of the time that would have worked for Punk, but
Wow. Okay, well,
Just
Buff
kind of
gets
got wrecked.
this room cleared out here. He's gonna choke Victor, drag him, and dump him over the balcony. Hopefully, I know he was quite unhappy when
Yeah.
he ripped the first time there, and he was indicating that he didn't think he really had a chance anymore. But the thing about roulette is you never know what's going on with your opponent. You don't know if they're having the best time or the worst time, and Punk was looking really good there right up until the very end.
Your
So,
opponent
th-
always just around the corner from getting hit with the GRB
yeah,
by the Hitman client.
literally, you can't ever count yourself
You're
out.
never safe.
Yeah, and by the same token, yeah, you're also never safe.
Um, so yeah, Punky's just gonna go ahead and same routing. Routing there wasn't really the issue for him in terms of consistency. So
Yeah.
Buff is kind of looking for the same thing here, dodging the camera since those two guards are right there, and immediately with the detonation. So
Mm,
obviously he is very close to finishing the spin here. Um, if he opts for the same approach on that explosion accident kill.
Hopefully,
And
he just checks to make sure that the guard is actually moving to investigate the distraction instead of just assuming
yeah,
no, he
there's
doesn't he
the
doesn't check.
shot on the bottom of the pillar,
Wait. Okay, he's
which you will
going.
hear. There he goes.
Okay, good. He is checking. Thank goodness.
Yeah, that it's very forgiving the shot on the pillar to bring him down because you can even shoot it from down here and it'll get him to come down. So
That's good to know.
gotta hit the second shot on this gas lamp because she will lock down from the first one, and then he'll be good to walk out. Just dodge these
Oh my
cicada bars
god, he
here at the
gets
end.
it. All right, Buff. Yes, he ties it up 4-4, and it's gonna take us to a true fifth
Ooh.
map decider.
Yeah,
GG's.
Punk is not gonna be feeling great after that one.
No, I don't imagine. So whenever it comes down to like a true decider map, that's when, I really feel most sympathy for the players because just to have all that back and forth just end up, you know, all come down to riding on one match. Just it's the best possible outcome for people who are watching roulette, and best possible outcome for us in the shoutcaster's chair. But in the player's perspective, it is really stressful. Although Buff's doing quite a lot of hooting and hollering right now. He's all amped up. He's hyped.
And then coming up, we've got Isle of Scale as our quote unquote decider. Um,
Oh, Isle of Scale.
very unlikely to expect a tie going into this map 5 here, but we will see what the spin comes up with. And
Yeah,
let
very
me
very unlikely.
check those stats out. We've got a 2-0-0 from Punk, 6-2-0 from the buff guy. It's a little bit better of a win to loss than it was going into Paris. Not sure if that makes an appreciable difference, but Punk pretty consistently having played every map like 2 times. Won a lot of them. I think he's like currently on track for the best win streak that anyone's had, and definitely as a quote unquote new player to roulette. So
Yeah. Yeah, he's had that win streak undefeated, unbroken so far, but this is probably as close as he's ever come to losing it, I think, right? Um it's riding on a lot here for Punk to continue to remain undefeated. Of course, if he were to lose this match, he wouldn't be out. He would just be sorted down into the LB lower bracket, aka losers bracket.
yeah,
Um,
and getting into winners bracket round 3 means you know quote unquote skip a round in the lower bracket, so that gives you a bit of an edge there.
yeah.
Drops you down to round 4, but obviously, even better would be if you made it to the next round, even lower bracket round 6. So
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah, we're fast approaching the final matches of RRWC 2022, where we will find out who is going to be crowned this year's grand champion. So, and I could see honestly either of these players ending up with that title, and even after this match, for instance, if Punk were to get down into the lower bracket after this, or Buff gets put down in the lower bracket after this, they could still end up rematching each other in the ultimate final showdown of the tournament to decide who takes the title of champion. So it's not necessarily over for either player after this match, but the dynamic definitely is going to change after this match. Someone's going to have an advantage and someone's going to have a disadvantage.
I mean, I feel like it's kind of a given with these tournaments. Every time you end up having one person that just goes like on the insane lower bracket, like rampage.
Yeah.
Towards the end, so there's still plenty of chance there, no matter how far back you are in the.
Yes, the drama is ripening so sweetly, so perfectly, and will be here for us to enjoy over the coming weeks. But Chris, why don't you go ahead and tell us what our final spin of the night, likely final spin of the night, is?
We've got Zoe Washerton with an injected poison as the chef, and then Sophia the
Oh,
schemer with the fiber wire in the barrel robe. So double live kill and a
nice.
hostile disguise. I feel like this matches perfectly with the types of spins that have
Yes,
shown up so far through the rest of this match, and
I'm here
quite
for
the
it.
spin for a decider. Of course, the lures that you tend to see for both targets kind of make live kills not as much of an issue as they might be on other maps. There's
Mo
not.
MOC lure for Zoe
Yeah.
and radio lure for Sophia.
Of course, I mean, no matter what you do, there's always a chance you're going to get GRB'd, but I think it's
Sure.
not as risky maybe as some of the other live kills you might have on different maps. And Punk's getting wrecked by, I don't know, server issues or something, trying to
Hmm.
load in. But Buff starting keep and Punk, I don't even remember what the name helipad. I don't remember what the name of the start is.
Uh,
The Constance Tower, whatever.
I thought that was the keep.
Um,
There's keep and then chapel,
oh
right?
yeah, Chapel is the one that's above
Yeah,
the
yeah,
market
yeah,
pit. Yeah, that's right. That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's right. So he is looking. Punk is to grab this burial robes immediately, and that'll get him time to get over to Sophia, with time for the radio lure. And then
Gonna need a lot of darts or just judicious use of these distractions down here.
And then after that, I mean, a lot of times you'll see people start as chef, just because it's kind of a bit out of the way, but it's not the hardest disguise to actually grab in the middle of a spin, so not too terribly difficult. And
I mean, I don't see how could you get the phone lure to work on Zoe with could you get a chef and then get back up there in time?
um, for Zoe, I don't really see it being possible. I don't think you're ever gonna make that starting chef, and then
Ooh, Punk gets spotted, I think, by the mortician there.
yeah, there we are, Mr. Janus, but double restarts will kind of even them back out.
Oh, apparently the phone can be done from the chef's start.
It doesn't surprise me. But I mean, like, also, even if you didn't want to do phone and that's how you wanted to approach Zoe, like, you've always got a medic that works for her as well.
Sure, that's true. Zoe's
So,
very, very emeticable.
and Chef Disguise, I mean, it's crazy how much access it has on this map outside of the only place where they actually exist naturally. So,
They have a lot of access, you said.
yeah, they have pretty much the entire upstairs, like where Architect Start is, and then I don't
Really?
remember if they have access on the helipad, but they might. I feel like they do, but I'm not. I don't remember. It's either that or Castle Staff, one of the two. I get those confused sometimes with that. But
Okay. Well, Buff does a bullet shot on the corner here to bring this elite guard to him for a corner subdue. So he can probably take that disguise or that SMG. I think he just wants
SMG.
SMG. Yes, he wants that disguise, I think, for ease of getting the Janus burial robes.
Yeah, I mean that obviously just removed the trespassing zone restriction, but it will kind of
Yes.
get him a little bit tighter on time compared to what Punk had in terms of getting back up for this radio lure, which is kind of your default for
Right.
Sophia. Punk, I mean, he's got about 30 seconds to get there, so I think he should be able to. Obviously, the architect can be a problem, but just gotta watch out for that.
Buff's using that chloroform flask, I think, and he did a bullet
Yep,
distraction for that other guy on a barrel, and he gets everyone pacified. He
no
also
one
has about
survives.
30 seconds to make it back up there. I think he should be all
Uh,
right. What happened
and
with Punk?
Punk's not making it.
Oh, because the door's locked, and he doesn't have
Yeah,
any way to get through there.
he was kind of hesitating a lot on this architect, whether he wanted to try to just run past, which is going to be really tough in a hostile area. Obviously, he didn't
Mm,
really have time for the peekaboo necessarily, so Sophia's gone at
yeah,
this point,
he's gonna have to
and
wait to peekaboo her when she's coming back up the stairs at this point. But I mean, he's got that architect in that box now, so he can stash the burial ropes and go work on something else, maybe.
yeah, I think he's thinking of what he's going to do at this point.
I'm trying to think if he can get a chef disguise and get it somewhere for Zoe. Just trying to get some work done so he's not just stuck up here in this room doing nothing for 2 minutes, maybe however long
Yeah,
it
I mean,
is.
Buff is in the same position here. I mean, Sophia's gone,
Yeah,
so
that's true.
um, they're both going to be seeing what they can do here in the next. Usually it's like 4:30 that you want to go for that peekaboo. So you're a little bit restricted. I don't really think, um, realistically, you're gonna leave yourself enough time to
Hmm.
go all the way back down, kill Zoe, and then come back here for this. But
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that so it looks like Punk is thinking of kind of staying put. Yeah, here she comes. She's coming back up the stairs already at 310. Buff's not in a trespass, and he's not in the position to peekaboo.
and yeah, I thought with unlocking the door, I was a bit worried that Punk was just gonna wait for the next cycle on the radio lure, but obviously this is exactly what he was planning on, and not really any issues. Don't get GRB'd on this fiber wire
Ooh,
kill.
he
Oh,
almost did.
yeah.
He almost did.
The camera shake on that head turn. Um, so we are in Elite Guard, and I am number one in the country when it comes to being absolutely clueless as to where the constant routes. I think he can route through the smuggle room, but like I said, generically my hope on scale is just to pray that he doesn't go there.
I don't think I've
So,
ever seen him route through the smuggle room, but I wouldn't surprise me because I've been surprised many, many times. Buff is getting the peekaboo, but he
oh,
rips.
yeah, I mean, obviously, normally for a peekaboo at that distance, you want to use the pistol to speed it up, but you're already in a hostile area, so that's going to be like an instant spot, pretty much.
Yeah, it really fills up quick. Like you only need to point it at her for like a second and then you run to the side. So Buff was a bit I mean, I've gotten ripped there doing that exact same peekaboo the exact same way. Um just held on probably like just a half a second too long down the aim of his gun.
Um, yeah, and with the constant, I think most of the constant's routing is triggered by like kind of where you go. He can go in different places or what proximity triggers you hit. Because the only time he would go through there is when he's coming like back from the helipad, I would
Mhm.
think.
Or like
Um,
back from where Jebediah Block is.
but yeah, I mean, like either Punk's gonna rip or he isn't, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
Gotta get this live kill on Zoe now. Could do the
not
MOC
sure.
lure.
Yeah, and he's got Zoe. I mean, she's not that far away from him down here.
If he's got a seeker, he could get her sick.
Yeah, I don't think she's in the best position right now for a seeker. I actually don't know if she can still puke in the water trough, but
Mm.
um yeah, you can see here Punk's not trespassing. He can kind of just go through like
Oh
this entire
yeah.
area.
Wow.
So only gonna be hostile out here, in this agility.
Yeah, on these
And
agility
then
areas.
yeah, that I mean we can see the constants from the helipad going downstairs now, so really not an issue for him. And
Oh, he is trespassing out here.
I think he's just looking for MOC at this point.
Yeah.
And I mean, the biggest risk with MOC and live just is always that you want to deal with her guard, and you also want her to be in a position where she's not going to panic and start, head turning all over the place. So
He's got enough darts.
he uses one. He's got another one to spare, I think, if he really wants to. But yeah, two thrown melees. Doesn't risk the subdue, spotting a body or anything. Should be good here on that.
Yep, now he just needs to get
So
this room cleaned up and go trigger the lure, and Zoe will be on her way. And
yeah,
hopefully just
bunker.
needs good spacing between Zoe and her guard. Sometimes she can be like sprinting. Have you ever seen her sprinting through this
Yes, I
room?
have.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's like what
Her guard's like super far behind her for no reason.
yeah, or the guard comes through like way ahead of her for some reason. Like you never know what order they're going to walk into the room together.
Yeah, for some reason it seems like if she's far enough away, the game tells her to sprint so that you can actually get the opportunity going, but she never stops running
Hmm.
until she gets all the way over here. So like she gets way ahead of her guard. Um, but yeah, we saw a little bit of getting wrecked there in the kitchen from Buff, and he's back to square one again. Um,
Yeah.
7 minutes on the run here for Punk as he fully initiates the money pit for the MOC lure. He is not taking any chances on that.
What's the purpose of running out there and starting burning the fire pit?
It doesn't make a difference. I think he's just like he knows that that works 100%, so he's just doing that.
Whoa. Okay, he almost got he had something illegal in his
Yeah, like
hands
as
there.
you can see here, they were already coming down here long before he
Oh my
actually
god.
triggered that
He's
money
not going to
pit.
get it. He's not going to get it.
Yeah, he's
She's
not.
gone. He didn't slow
And
her down or anything.
I think
He should have bumped her. He should have tried to keep her in the room but instead he calmed the guard.
he's not going to be able to walk through past those guards, but I think if he goes like all the way around, like if he goes backwards into the security room and then climbs down that ladder, I think he'll get to the point where he's allowed, and then he can try to get this Zoe kill while she's up here by the effigy.
Oh man, he's gonna go for it. He's gonna. This is the nature of roulette right here, right? We can plan
Yeah,
for
it's improv time.
everything. Yeah, we can plan for the best of kills,
He
but things
could,
rarely go according to plan. Then you have
yeah,
to
he
improv.
can. He can also try to knock both of these guards. I don't actually know what Zoe does now. I don't know if she just stands there forever or what. But
There's a lot of people out there, though. I
I would
wouldn't feel good about
imagine
trying to poke her out there.
she stands there for like, at least a minute or two, waiting for you to like do the opportunity that you set up. So I think he should be fine if he wants to deal with these guards. He just needs to go for it if he wants to do that. Um,
I
I
don't know.
guess he's gonna
Oh
wait
wait,
to see if she
she's
just
moving.
turns around and comes back, and
Yeah,
then he'll get her on her way back through.
she started moving back.
Uh, which does also make sense. He's got the coin to get her facing one way, and should be hidden behind the door
But I think
here.
there is a. Did he box that other body? I think he boxed that body up.
Yeah, her Zoe's guard he did put in a box. Yeah. So I don't think anyone's left out at this point. Just
Okay.
make sure that door closes behind her, and he should be fine.
All right, he
There he
gets
goes.
it.
Sees the coin, and he's good. Just don't change too quick. He's watching her. She's got the long animation. And yeah, that's it on Punxsutawn. Just run to the helicopter.
Nothing can possibly go wrong now. GG's Punk.
What a roller coaster.
I know, right? Remains undefeated.
Undefeated 10 win streak. I think that officially puts him ahead. Because I think there was quite a few people with a 9 win streak, and out at 10 now. I think he's very solidly. I think Ducker's got like, 20 something ridiculous, and then after that's In for Fun with like 13 maybe. So
Wow.
he's getting up there. He's getting up there on the placements.
Yeah, I'll say.
And Yeah, I will for sure confirm that. Send the results to challenge. A 6-4. The end score, at least, is the one that we were kind of hoping for from the start. So
Yeah. This was what we wanted. We wanted to see as many matches as possible, as much back and forth as possible, and it was a hell of a match. Congrats to Punk on advancing and remaining confidently in the winners bracket, moving on to winners bracket round 4. And Buff, my man, you are down, but you are not out. You are down there in the lower brackets with the rest of us, including me and Kaneda and a whole bunch of other really terrifying people. No, I don't include myself in that group, but people who I'm afraid to go up against are down there. So, and now Buff's part of that group too, so that's cool. But yeah, awesome match. This was the outcome that we wanted. Just heartbreaking. Buff's had some really unfortunate rips there, but put on a really good show too.
and
So
I think now that I think once you're in WB4, I think you're guaranteed top 6 for the tournament. So um I think that means Punk at worst would finish tied for, I'm not sure if we count it as tied for 6th or tied for 5th, but
wow.
probably tied for 5th.
Well, if that's
in
where it
his-
should end, that's not a bad place to end.
Yeah, I mean, in your first official Roulette Rivals tournament that you're playing in, the World Championships, no less. Just really amazing stuff so far.
Definitely. Really awesome to see. So Buff Guy here fought GK Punk in round 3, was sent down to the lower bracket. Punk has moved on to round 4 and will be facing either the Time Cube or Yanini. That match, I believe, has been scheduled. And the winner will face GK Punk in round 4. Buff Guy has been sorted down into losers round 4, where he is waiting to face either Z-Rune. Yeah, a lot of people potentially. I think it's perhaps too early to tell. So Blythe and Mr. Mike will be facing off down in losers bracket round 2.
Yeah, plenty of time to cool down, recoup, and practice for the next one's coming up.
Yeah. The winner of that match, either Blythe or Mr. Mike, will be facing Z-Rune, and then winner of that match will be facing the Buff Guy. So, a lot of drama and sorting of matches continues to be taking place here, everyone. Don't miss any of these upcoming matches. You don't want to miss them. Observer versus Danny Buta, Mika versus Pajero. There's potentially going to be a match between Izuko-chan and myself happening on Friday. If not, it'll be between Izuko-chan and Kaneda. But yeah, this is really shaping up to be an awesome tournament so far. And the matches are only getting better from here on out. As far as our upcoming matches are concerned, we've got a couple. Tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, In For Fun will be facing off against Chrome X. Later on at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time, we've got Friday 7 versus I Like Hitman. And 2.5 hours later at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard, Blythe versus Mr. Mike. And then 2.5 hours after that, every match is like 2.5 hours apart tomorrow. We've got Mika versus Pajero. So a lot of good matches to look forward to tomorrow as well, folks. Keep your eyes peeled to hitmaps.com if you'd like to check the list schedule of matches in your own local time zone. Like, just check out Hitmaps and click the button that says Fetch Upcoming Matches. Chris, do you have any thoughts that you care to share with me and chat before we sign off for the night?
I mean, great match, great performance, great. I mean, obviously you could tell because you could see Buff the whole time, really keeping the composure there.
Mm-hmm.
On, really close maps on a lot of those, able to pull it through, push that to the map 5, and Punk. I mean, obviously you could tell that it wasn't like he was, lost at the end of it or anything. So.
Sure.
Love these guys. Really great. Pushing through the end and looking for. I mean, there's a lot of great matches on this screen right now that I'll be watching tomorrow. So
Yeah, really excited for the matches tomorrow, and like you said, really well played by our competitors. No shame in a loss, and in a match well fought. And Buff will continue on to fight down in the lower bracket. Punk remains with his immaculate performance in the winners bracket. And thank you, Chris, for adminning the match, and also for joining me for our first shoutcast together. It was a lot of fun. This was awesome, and definitely you got a lot of knowledge of strats and timings and stuff, so that's always awesome to have that technical knowledge in a cast, because I certainly lack some of that, I feel, but I'm working on it. Roulette's a journey, and yeah, I appreciate you coming along as a co-caster. And chat, thank you as always for coming out and supporting the roulette events and the Hitman events. Always fun, always a good time. How about we go raid Buff? I think Buff's gonna stay live.
yep.
He's probably doing his own post-match venting and talking, so let's go hang out there with Buff. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you at the next one, at the next
See you.
shoutcast.